From being the least hyped member of Blackpink to becoming one of the most respected and globally recognized artists today, Rosé's journey is nothing short of a movie. It's the classic underdog story, where someone underestimated at first ends up becoming the hero. Rosé's journey began in 2016 with Blackpink. She debuted as the main vocalist of the group, and she absolutely delivered in that role. But early on, she didn't get the same hype or attention that the other members received. That's because Blackpink's initial concept was hip-hop heavy, bold, and edgy, and Rosé's soft emo vocals didn't always stand out in that setup. The spotlight mostly went to the rap line, which matched the group's fierce image. Rosé was there, but never the center. In a way, it felt like poetic injustice. But over time, she proved she wasn't just the quiet vocalist in a hip-hop dominated group. She showed the world she had her own voice, her own artistic identity. Through solo projects and TV appearances, she revealed she wasn't just a singer handed a song. She was someone who actively shapes her music. She made it clear, she's not just a performer, she's an artist with a vision. Then came her solo debut under YG, her first album, R. And that's where Rosé's creativity truly shined. She poured her own story and emotions into the music, and people loved it. Rosé is a ballad-style song lover, which is rare in the high-energy world of K-pop. The same soft voice that once got buried under Blackpink's bold image was now making her stand out as an emotional and artistic figure. That's why when Blackpink's individual contracts ended, all eyes were on Rosé. People believed this was finally her moment, the time for her true identity to come to the surface. And with her being the member closest to Western music sensibilities, expectations for global success were high. She took her time, fans grew impatient, but in the end, it was worth the wait. She came back with the biggest hit of the year, APT. And the moment it dropped, it was everywhere. A viral sensation. It broke global streaming records. Clips flooded TikTok and Instagram. Celebrities were talking about it. Fans were obsessed. It wasn't just a hit, it was a pop culture moment. A modern-day Gangnam Style. Her chemistry with Bruno Mars, electric and unexpected, was praised by critics and fans alike. But beyond the collab, what people really saw was Rosé, the artist. She was no longer just the soft-voiced member of a powerful girl group. She had become Blackpink's most artistically driven member in full bloom. APT gave Rosé massive recognition in the Western market. Even people who had never followed K-pop suddenly knew her name. For the first time, she wasn't being introduced as Rosé from Blackpink. She was simply Rosé, a global artist, a standalone star. But after the storm of APT settled, came the real test, the rest of the album. Songs like Number One Girl and Toxic Till the End had their moments. They were good, even emotionally rich, but they didn't quite capitalize on the blazing momentum of APT. The energy dipped, the narrative blurred, the hype faded faster than expected. And that's when the whispers began. Is Rosé just a one-hit wonder? Was APT just a lucky break? Was it Bruno who made the song, not her? The industry began doing what it always does, turning excitement into doubt. APT was a moment, but it didn't feel like a movement. It made a splash, but didn't build a wave. There was no clear follow-up, no evolving story, no second act. And in pop music, that can be fatal. Because in this world, it's not just about having a hit. It's about using that hit to tell a story, to build an era. And Rosé, for all her talent and artistic vision, hadn't quite done that yet. The situation was even more difficult for Rosé because her strength lies in subtlety. And in the loud, fast, trend-chasing world of K-pop and TikTok, subtlety often gets ignored. She wasn't giving viral dance challenges or dramatic visuals. She was giving emotion, vulnerability. And sadly, that's not always what grabs headlines. To make things worse, some people tried to reduce her achievement, saying Bruno Mars was the reason APT succeeded. Yes, Bruno bought attention. He gave her credibility in the West. But let's not forget, it was Rosé's song, her story, her vision, her voice. She created it, she owned it, and she delivered it. No one else can take that away from her. Let's be honest, APT had the potential to be Rosé's driver's license moment. It defines an artist and launches a new era. But instead, it became just that, a beautiful song with no home. A moment of vulnerability that wasn't carried forward. No visual arc, no album identity, no Rosé-centric narrative to anchor it all. And as weeks passed, even some fans started feeling the same thing. Maybe it was just a fluke. Maybe she didn't plan for it to be this big. Maybe she didn't expect this much love and didn't know what to do with it. That's the sad reality of modern music. A hit without a story will often fade faster than a flop that feels authentic. But despite all this, one thing remained undeniable. Rosé's branding was the strongest among all Blackpink members. From the very beginning, she had a clear artistic vision. She knew what kind of artist she wanted to be. Soft yet powerful, emotional yet elegant, poetic yet relatable. And her team helped bring that vision to life consistently. While Blackpink as a group leaned into luxury, fierceness, and high fashion, Rosé leaned into warmth, vulnerability, and storytelling. Her branding was raw, grounded, and artistic. She wasn't positioned like an untouchable pop icon. She came across as real, like someone you could sit and talk to for hours. That emotional proximity made fans feel closer to her than ever before. Her fashion echoed that too. Not glam-heavy couture, but casual, comfortable, everyday wear. Her album covers had muted tones and minimalist design, focused on mood, not flash. And in interviews, she wasn't afraid to get personal. She talked about love, heartbreak, loneliness, things idols rarely reveal in Korea's tight-lipped industry. Her entire artistic identity revolved around relationships, and so did her music. Whether the person she was singing about was real or not, people believed her. They felt it. They connected. Fans constantly wondered, who broke Rosé's heart? What's the real story behind these lyrics? It became part of the intrigue. It made her album feel like a diary, and her fans were invited to read its pages. This kind of emotional branding is common in the West, but in K-pop, where perfection often masks vulnerability, it felt bold and fresh. And that, more than anything, is what made Rosé stand out. She didn't try to fit into what was trending. She made her own lane. And even if that path hasn't been smooth, even if her success didn't come in a straight line, what she's building feels authentic. And in the long run, authenticity always lasts longer than hype. Now let's talk about her other songs. Number One Girl, a song I personally loved. Rosé's aching, roaring vocals were amazing. It gave me chills, and I thought, this is it. This album's gonna be legendary. But it didn't turn out that way. While APT had that K-pop friendly party energy, the rest of the album leaned into ballads and pop punk, a sound not usually embraced by the broader K-pop audience. It wasn't Blackpink's signature style either. The album felt like a mix of Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, and Sabrina Carpenter. And while that blend was beautifully done, it didn't exactly make a loud impact. Still, most of the songs had brilliant moments. The crying chorus in Stay a Little Longer, the raw edge of Number One Girl, the emotional instrumentals of 3am. But those moments didn't always carry through the whole track. Some songs even felt repetitive, like you were building toward a big emotional high, but then it would just fall flat. Honestly, her previous songs like On the Ground and Gone were stronger overall than some of the tracks on this album. And when you've already delivered great work in the past, expectations naturally get higher. But still, I think Rosé showed her potential in this album. She impressed with her vocal range, her stylistic courage, and her artistic direction. And I truly hope she's not just remembered for one viral hit. I want her to grow, and I really believe she can. What do you guys think about it? I would love to know your honest opinions.